It's time for Inside the Patch with your Las Vegas Raiders. Here's Gnarley Charley.
Welcome back to Inside the Patch. It's Gnarley Charley. Don't forget to thank our sponsors, Porta Subs. They're celebrating their 50th anniversary. Also, Fresno Rack and Shelving. Nice rack. You can also donate to Valley Children's Hospital simply by going to 51555, put the word Gnarley, Gnarley, and you make a donation to Valley Children's Hospital. We've got Fantasy Fitz right now. What's happening, man?
Hey, how you doing, Charlie?
Good.
Looking forward to this week, man.
Yeah. So the Raiders could be at 2-4. That's what could happen at the end of this weekend.
It should happen. And if it doesn't happen, you got more problems than you really want.
Right. So it's got to happen, correct?
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is one of those games where, you know, the Raiders players, the fantasy players, they're licking their chops. They're like, all right, now I can, you know, bolster my stats. One of these games where we're going to win, of course, is how many touchdowns will I score? How many yards will I get? That kind of thing.
Right. Well, so who's your best fantasy football nugget for the Raiders?
Well, it's got to be Josh Jacobs. The guy's on fire. I mean, he's had 30-plus fantasy points in 2 straight games. I mean, the guy looks incredible. I mean, I remember at draft time, and we have a team together. I don't know if they know that, but you and I have a team together. And I said,
yeah, we do.
No, not Jacobs. I go, he's not really worth it. He's not worth it. It's going to be Carr. It's going to be Adams. Why didn't you even say Carr? I said, you just want Adams and Waller. That's all we need is Adams and Waller, and we'll be fine. But, you know, things change, you know. But
right,
Jacobs, he is hot right now.
I mean, he's got 30-plus fantasy points the last 2 weeks, I believe.
Yeah, he's the hottest running back right now in fantasy football.
You know, but so for me as a Raider fan, I have that fine line between that's great, he's great at fantasy football, but how about just winning the game? I care a little more about that.
Well, I'm sorry about that, but this is the way it is. I mean, but really, if the Raiders fantasy guys are going to go off, that's usually an indication that the team's going to win. I mean, it doesn't always happen, but I mean, if Adams and Carr and Jacobs just blow up, well, think about it. You guys scored at least 30, 40 points, if that's the case.
Well, we got Kenny King coming up, man, and I can't wait to get his take on the Raiders, how they are now. Kenny King played Super Bowl 15 for the Raiders against Philadelphia
I had
Eagles.
Kenny King when he was a member of the Houston Astros in my first – no, I didn't. That was like – but honestly, that was like 10 years before I started – playing fantasy football, maybe 15 to 20 years.
Well, you know, I've been doing some research today because I'm going to interview Kenny King, and there's a lot of stuff I didn't know about. I didn't know he was traded for Jack Tatum so they traded Jack Tatum to the Houston Oilers, and Kenny came to the Raiders.
And this is before what's his name? Oh, what's the running back? What's the running back for Houston that was really good? Earl Campbell. I guess it was after him, right?
Yeah. So Earl. I read Earl Campbell was like his second year, and they drafted Kenny. So, you know, Earl hated Kenny because like, hey, that guy's here to take my job. Yeah. And then they trade him to the Raiders. And then a year and a half later, the Raiders get Marcus Allen. So he fit right in between Earl Campbell and Marcus Allen. That's
just life in the NFL. I mean, there's always somebody gunning for your job, and that's why you always have to perform. You can't rest on your laurels at any time.
Right. Well, I can't wait to tell him that his coach played at my high school, Sanger High School, Tom Flores. So,
that'll be cool. You said you haven't interviewed him yet, or you have?
He's coming up next. So,
sweet, that'll be fun.
Anything you want me to run by him? Anything you need to know about fantasy? Yeah, I'm going to tell him how many fantasy points you think you had in your career.
That'd be interesting to go back and retro all that stuff. I'm sure somebody has.
I think about that. That could be a whole new angle. Retro fantasy football.
Yeah, because if you don't remember what happened, you don't know. Who cares?
No one will remember. And you actually do like a little mini draft. Okay, we're doing 1968. Everybody pick. Or maybe it's just pick for you. And then you go through the games and you set your roster. I bet you could do that. There's something. We just invented that right now.
Too many people cheat, though, because the internet has all that information. So you got to figure out a way to do it live so no one can, cheat.
In a room with no internet access.
Yeah.
It's like you got to go right now. You don't know.
Well, it's like they have those pub crawls, and all this is trivia. And basically, if you use your phone, they chastise you and kick you out. You know what I mean? So it'd be like that.
But people are doing it. All right. Well, Raiders play the Texans. Raiders are 7-point favored against the Houston Texans at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. Any final thoughts? What do you think is going to happen?
I do like Adams, of course, and Jacobs. And I know that Waller's coming back. So he's been hurt. He's coming back. And I don't know if he's practiced at all, but I'll just give you a little heads up. I'm in a league where we don't draft tight ends, right? But you can draft him as a wide receiver. And someone in my league just picked up Waller as a wide receiver, basically. So that says a lot about picking up a tight end in a non-tight end league.
There you go. All right. Well, we'll find out. Thank you very much, Fantasy Fitz. It's always good to have you on the show.
All right, Charlie. Thanks a lot.
We'll be back with more Inside the Patch on 1430 ESPN, your official home of the Las Vegas Raiders.